Hello, everyone. I know this is a bit earlier than the announced time, but apparently they are a little bit faster than I had expected with the picks and bans. So, and I don't really know when. So I decided to start early because I don't really know when they will be ready with the game. So let's keep that in mind right here. And we can see when they start. So I hope you're all doing very well. So today we got a bit of a special one because it's not just any tournament games. It is this beginning kind of, I mean, has already begun, but kind of the FOB arena with the qualifiers and promotion maps and today matches. And today we get the promotion matches between Frubblord and Kerb. So both fantastic players. And yeah, no idea yet how this is going to work out, but here's to see. I actually legit I have played against Frubblord maybe once, more against Kerb, but I have no idea how good they are in relation to each other actually. So that's yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So as it stands right now, so they finished the picks and bans. So Frubblord has a banned 101st. Hold on, what's the map actually? They haven't told me yet. I need to ask. Maybe Frubblord also sent me a picture without the map though. It's very unfortunate. Let's ask. I can read you the bans and then we can go to the map. So apparently it's on Costa Rica, okay. So Frubblord banned 101st, 4th Canadian SSB and CIBG. So he is player 2 then. Kerb banned Kessel, Dodi, 26th guard, so the Soviet one, and Pichotti. Frubblord went on to ban Pangelos Russell for Fallschirmjäger 20th Panzer. Kerb then banned the FLCL, 3rd Mechanized, and 3rd VDV. Both picked allies. Kerb first picked 9K, Frubblord picked BRO. So, and Kerb picked V for Victory. So, honestly, not, no, sorry. Frubblord picked V for Victory, Kerb picked Math. So, honestly, I'm not really sure about those odds. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Frubblord made a crucial mistake by not banning 9K. 9K is such an absolute powerhouse at the moment. You really need to ban it, especially on a map like Costa Rica. It's S tier, like easily, hands down. So you, yeah, it is a must ban. You can't leave this division open. It's too good. It's incredibly powerful, and I don't really think that BRO can handle it super well. Reason being mostly that BRO does. The problem with BRO is it doesn't really have any armor that can cost efficiently deal with the Valentines, which, you know, I might be over focusing on, that's all right. But the other problem is the infantry. 9Cav has very cost efficient infantry and BRO does not. Maybe in A phase to some extent, but that's about it. The light armor, you know, you don't have that much in BRO, but also the one that you have, the M8s, it's not really like 9Cav can handle that relatively well. So yeah, I do not think this is going to end well for Frubblord. Of course, I hope we still got a good game out of it, and I hope he turns it around because we all love to see the unexpected things. At least I do. But yeah, that's. I am a little bit afraid of that for Frubblord. I'm also a bit surprised about the 101st ban, honestly, because I think 101st is not a division that you need to ban on that map. 101st is more of a counter pick division anyway, instead of a first pick one. Other bans, the other bans are reasonable. Though I'm a bit surprised about the 20th Panzer or 4th Canadian ban. Definitely reasonable bans, just not necessarily for them. I think Kerb's ban were really good with Castle Dodi 26 and Piachotti. They're very reasonable. At DFL, CL, 3rd Mech, 3rd VDV, definitely also very reasonable bans for this map. But yeah. So again, I might have started this a bit too early, but I wasn't sure how much time they will need to do their deck building. So I guess I still have some time left. In the meantime, we can actually look at the two divisions real quick. I should have some builds of them. Of course, that's not necessarily how you should build them. I'm not saying that these builds are the best ones, but then we can at least see what we have to expect. Oh, 9CAF is here, so let's take a look at that. Oh, that is my old new build. That one should be changed. That is not a good one. But anyway, so I mean, most notably, of course, we have all this infantry, all radar, which is very important, especially on the street, so you can actually make use of that super well. So would, although from having from discussions with Kerb and looking at the divisions he plays, I'm not really sure he is aware of just how powerful these are if you use them correctly, the radar trades. So maybe that is not the biggest issue, but the problem is it's just such a cost-efficient unit, all these guys. Especially these guys, and like you can definitely counter these with grenade throwers, but in B phase that's actually the case, but in A phase, like all the flamer units, I think they just get melted by these guys, so that's going to be a tough matchup for Kerb right there. For Frubblord. Other than that, these are of course really dangerous, and what's important to note here is that they're super fast as well, at least for a heavy bomber, meaning that the buffers that Frubblord will be relying on will probably struggle forcing this away properly, is one of the things I'm worried. Then of course Valentine, we all know the Valentine. That thing is really scary, so that's going to be a major issue as well. And as well, he has the bazookas with the Osnats, so he has the means to deal with Shermans up close with infantry tools as well. So that's one thing. Going over, let's quickly check if they're already starting or not. No, they're not yet. So then we can look at BRO as well, which a lot of people have tried it out, I feel like, when it came out, and then it kind of lost popularity quite a bit. Again, ignore that build. I haven't really touched that division in quite a while again, so don't take this as how you should build it. But most notably, of course, this division is famous for having a lot of special infantry units in A phase with all these kind of CQC units. And this thing is not too bad. I don't think it can hold up against Nagasaki PPSH though. At CQC. Now you have the rocket gun, which helps, and these guys are like a 300-meter range, and that can definitely be useful on Kustritsa. Depends a bit on how I can use them though. These guys, I mean, they look similar to the Rangers from Rangers LMG, I think they're called, from 2nd US Infantry. Problem is they don't have the commando trait, so they're not nearly as good. They're okay. And then these guys, I mean, these should do well against Nagasaki PPSH. The problem is just that there's more Nagasaki PPSH than these, and also the cheaper, the Nagasaki PPSH than these guys. So it's probably going to be a bit of a problem. Assault team, that's just like a flamer is generally countered by SMGs anyway, and then this is not a good flamer per se, it's a good hybrid unit. So I think in the CQC, BRO will actually struggle probably. It might sound like a surprising conclusion, but I would imagine, I mean, he has more CQC in A phase probably than Kerb in total. So in that regard, he might win CQC. But in terms of traits, I am not so convinced that this is actually a fight you want to take. And I think that's actually the most notable thing. Otherwise, I mean, you have the 820G, which is actually pretty good. Also super fast, medium resilience. So the Soviet 37 mils will not be much better than the Bofors in that regard when it comes to stopping these heavy bombers. Although these has, I think the TU have very good resilience, or good at least. I think it's only medium. Let's double check. And yeah, otherwise, you have the bad Germans, which is definitely a bit of a problem. And I mean, yeah, not really convinced of that matchup, honestly. Let's actually check, but I do think... Where's 9CAF? Probably skipped it, didn't I? There we go. Yeah, very good. See, so that still makes a big difference. All right, Kerb's letting me know deploying. Should be able to join soon. All right. I'm going to do that then. So, of course, he's not watching. He might later, so in case he does, thank you for letting me know. Let's see how they deploy. Also, time to pay a bit attention to the chat. Hei, hallo Luca. Ja, heute ist ein 40. Mark, da må vi frei. All right, can we skip ahead a little bit? We can. Action, so it's still waiting till, okay. Not really sure why we can already see and why it works like this, because I would assume that as soon as they start the game, they will be able to start deployments, and then we should also see, but somehow this is not how it works, so hey, I guess that's just how it is. What is your opinion, guys? What do you think? Who will come out ahead in this one, and who will not? I should be neutral, so I'm not saying, like, in terms of the players, I actually don't know, but I would say that it's definitely favored. Like, the odds are in Kerb's favor probably because of the division matchup. But again, I have not seen Frubblord in action a lot of times. So, I have to wait and see. All right. Let's now see. Did they actually get a head start? No. Okay, so we are as fast as we can be. I still don't know who's on which side. So, I mean, technically, like, the map is, I would say, fairer than most, but blue side is definitely more favored. Just for the simple fact that you have 3 flags here that are in, like, relative proximity. So you can make one major push here and grab three flags for that. Now, up here, you have one that red can realistically grab, but blue can definitely fight over that, and then you have to go very deep, and these are not very easy to grab. The center push here can actually work as well. The problem is it's hard to hold and defend. So technically you have the similar thing here. The problem is just it's way harder to actually hold and defend this than this. So this is why blue side is generally speaking a bit more favored. Also, the center push depends really on the range that the two divisions have. Because streets you don't need 2k, but if one side hasn't, the other one doesn't, like if blue has it and red doesn't, blue's gonna have a way easier time defending this and re-grabbing it than red does. Bansalo says, I think you underestimate your Western tank destroyers are really good. Yes and no. So the problem is, at the end of the day, they don't fire nearly as fast as the Valentine. Valentine fires with veterancy probably about twice as fast, or maybe a little bit less. And it will have no issues whatsoever of penning an M10. The M10 is also about twice the price. So even if the M10 finishes off a Valentine, if a second Valentine comes in and kills off that M10, you still lost 80 points and your opponent has lost 35 points. So you can't just... One thing that's very important is you cannot just look at the general strength of a unit. Like, can it do something as another unit or not? But you also need to look at the prices. So the M10s are really not in a good spot in this matchup. Like, you will have to use them, but you don't want to. That's kind of the issue here. Sherman is, and no, Sherman is not actually similar, because Sherman is probably at a disadvantage against the... No, probably it is against Valentine, at least up close. The other problem with the M10 is, and that's something that I didn't know for quite a while actually, until Kerb brought it up, they do have a slow turret rotation speed. So if you face, and this, like especially in like this part of the map, this you can very easily avoid that problem. So if you already face the direction you want to engage your target, like your target is in, you should pick up a kill or a first shot relatively easily. However, whenever you need to turn, you can wait like 10 minutes, not really, but it feels like that, until it turns a turret and starts shooting. Because the aiming time of the M10 is really fast. Like the M10 will, generally speaking, get the first shot off. But yeah, pretty much what French Ferris says. The M10 is a glass cannon, and that's okay. It's just that against something that is fast firing and can easily penetrate, it's not a good engagement. Now you can outrange things, of course. The problem is on that map, that's really only in the center a big issue. Like in the towns here, if you need to go in and deal with a Valentine, the M10 is not going to help you much. Like even if you kill it, you will lose the M10, and it's going to cost you more than your opponent paid for that Valentine. This is why Valentines are so fantastic at the moment. Defeating like a little bit tough. Yeah, I agree, Paza. I think I commented on it quite a bit already. I do think it's a very bad matchup for BRO. And he picked it, so he counter-picked, but I think it was a bad pick. But also, I think it was just a major mistake by Frubblord not banning 9cav. Like, you need to ban that division. On a map like this, at least. Like, on Slotsk, okay. I think you can get away with not banning it. But on any mid-range to close-range map, 9cav is a must-ban these days. It's incredibly overpowered. It will get nerfed in the next patch. Whenever that's going to be, because that one is one thing that I hate about Eugene. Like, they just cannot, for some reason, it is impossible for them to, do balancing changes outside of major update, like major new releases, like a DLC. And that's just, I don't know. Like that's what killed, or somewhat killed the game when SSB was broken. They just didn't touch it until they got the next DLC, and that was not a good thing. So we see that Kerb is on the good side, and I think that's actually that's going to be even worse for Frubblord. I would honestly say that 80% chance that Kerb wins that, just because Troops of the side. Frubblord is red with BRO, blue is Kerb with 9cav. BRO actually has some speed as well, so it's not as big of an issue, I would argue, as he cannot just easily lose a flag right at the start. But still, the fact that, and he will have to fight in the CQC area here, just to defend, right? Like the blue side doesn't necessarily need to do that. You don't necessarily need to get into CQC. You can in here, but you can decide not to. Like, there's ways to play with blue where you can avoid, not completely, but where you can get somewhat around it. Red side doesn't really have that option, because if your opponent decides to push like into here, you have to fight at CQC. It is not optional. Same thing for here, by the way. Like, if red pushes through here, you can just chill here and hold the tree line. We cannot do this over here, so red doesn't really have that option. And considering that the Kazaki PPSH will probably out-trade the, in my opinion at least, I think he might run out of them before Frubblord runs out of CQC, but I think in terms of trades, that will favor Kerb, so it's actually a bad thing for Frubblord. Except for B phase, because then, it's all grenade throwers for Frubblord, and they counter the Kazaki PPSH relatively well. Right, let's see. We do see a major push down south with all fast units and Osnats. So Kerb might be trying to sneak things around the backlines, although these are actual infantry units and not AT units, which means they do actually affect the front line. So maybe he actually doesn't try that. But I mean, he can put them like in here and in here. And one of the strong points of the allies is, of course, or Western allies, is that they do combine arms very well. Now, as soon as you take one of the Shermans out of the equation, it's not as decisive anymore. So the Osnats there can actually be quite hurtful. We do have Kazaki PPSH, so my guess would be he actually tries to go for this then. Bring some Kazaki PPSH, bring some Osnats, and then you can pressure that relatively well. Osnats are parry as well there. On the other side, a major push as well. So maybe he tries actually to push into here and then maybe even here from this position. A lot of Breacher, Soul Fire support, more Breacher, the Stonewallers. Okay, so he brought the Stonewallers. And then M7. and then M8. Maybe just gambles on whatever comes in his way being dealt with by this thing. It's not super accurate, but he can one-shot a tank relatively easily if it hits. That's the bigger issue. Another one coming in, Priest TD, another M8, a lot of fire support, some leaders, some Stonewallers, bazooka. Because it's going probably defensive deployment over here then. This doesn't look like an attack to me. Kerb having mostly Kazaki Moes in here, some Maxins, some Osnats. OB-25 is probably going to go over here because then you can nicely cut off the road right there. And what else do we have here? Kazaki Moes in. It also looks more like a defensive deployment. So I think they both, in this area, I think they're both just trying to establish like a good line they can hold. Because both, like, yeah, you can easily lose ground over here. And here we do have Kazaki Mosin, some Kazaki People Sages, Osnats, an OB-25, and the T-70 leader. So, yeah, that looks, I was going to say, that looks more defensive. These do not have a bomb, right? No, they do not. Just Bazooka and Stonewalls here. So Bazooka probably here, Stonewalls over here. Just defensive deployment. An easy way of, you know, having nothing here, holding the flag, and your opponent can, sometimes your opponent actually, like in this case, deploys heavily here because they want to secure this flag and not lose it. And you can decide not to push. That's one easy way of doing it. All right, where do they go? Now he actually pushes into here. Although 2 units are going over there. Not as massive as I thought. 2 Valentines, recon everywhere. Kerb loves his recon planes. There's so much I've noticed. These are gotta get in. This is where the assault fire support should generally win. They do have Molotovs. And it's not the fire support, so, sorry. No, where are these guys? Oh yes, I mean here. No, he didn't even take those, by the looks of it. I meant, you know, the guys with the Molotov, like the Willy Pete's actually. The Willy Pete and the, what's it called? Another thing. Also not smoked. They also got smoke. Actually very big. But these guys should be able to finish off the Osnat Sniper before we can throw the TNT, I would think. Nope. Still managed to throw it. Yes, French Ferret. Alright, we do see a push through here. So this is also an issue for red side. Red cannot really achieve much with pushing through here. You can only prepare for later cutting off this, but it's not as easy. Blue side, in the meantime, can easily, like, if you push through here, you can pressure this flag relatively nicely. 13 round for Kerb as he grabs this flag. And that was to be expected. He will also have realized there's nothing here. Is also advancing with infantry first, so these guys can't really do much. Another OB-25 coming in. And this is absolutely, like, this is a massive issue. If they get in here, like, this is where the radar tray can be really useful. Like, you can put them, like, somewhere over here, and you have, so, the Kazaki PPSH and the radar tray, but the combination of these two, it's going to be absolutely incredible in here, because he can just hide them somewhere in the forest. Frubblord will probably struggle a little bit with digging them out, and with the radar tray, as soon as you walk away from the flag, you know, the blue circle will pop up again, and easily hold that flag. This is something that Frubblord needs to avoid if he can. Can he push back here? The Osnat seems to have died. The Soul team is also being pushed back. He won't hit this here though. Needs to be careful though. Exactly, PPSH, it does have an AT grenade. They can't allow him to get close. Meanwhile, these guys managed to push in here. The Soul Fire Support just cannot hold up against that. And the Kazaki Mosin got in. The 105 tries to prevent that. I would not be surprised if Kerb decides to just bomb that relatively soon. There's no AA, and he knows it because the recon plane is pretty much unbothered. Soul Team and M8 coming in. Not really sure how much I could do. I mean, one bombing run here by an A20 could do massive damage. That would definitely be an option. He grabbed this flag, but again, there's the problem with red side here, right? He has it, but it will go away. Kerb reinforcing now. Yeah, I guess he's afraid of like something pushing through here, so it's actually putting defensives here and over there. It's very reasonable. Good decision. The Valentine has arrived. Well, that's now really not in Frubblord's favor. 105 coming in. Valentine going after the fire support. What does the M8 see? Probably Kazaki here. Oh, the maximum in the church tower. T70 versus M8. I think the M8 should win that. The T70, sorry. Turret stack. Is this thing even... Yeah, it fires way faster. Oh, at H rate. That's actually huge. Because, I mean, the odds are not really in Frubblord's favor there. So him winning that is massive. 5 should probably start opening up on that very soon. You'll also absolutely obliterate that Valentine, by the way. Oh, this is the answer to the Valentines, I guess. He has another one right here. And if it hits eventually, which it will, this thing is... I mean, the heat shell is... You know, it's a one-tap. It's actually 30% accuracy, which is not horrible. Considering that it one-shots, it's actually a fair trade-off, I would say. And down he goes. Sherman here got killed off by the Valentine, I assume. Seeing the Valentine's power right there. This Valentine, I'm not really sure what it's seeing. Oh, this old Breacher. Meanwhile, is working on the Maxim. 6 and 8 for Kerb still, though. Zaki coming in. Now he's just trying to push through. Or the M1 gun and the 105 might be out of position when that arrives. Be a big issue. This flag now grabbed by accident. The Soul Breacher's coming in. That can definitely stop that. That's all that Frubblord needs at the moment. Of course, it's still not a good sign for him because, you know, in B phase, he's gonna have a hard time. But at least he can actually make up some ground right now. So he's lost 2 more flags here, of course. It's gonna be a rough one. The assault team can easily beat with, like, a Kazaki, especially Kazaki most. And the problem is just that this thing is 15 points, this thing is 35 points. That's just not a really cute matchup. Then you add, like, the fact that there's some Valentines running rampant, which are killing his Shermans. It's a hard job. But so far, I feel like it's not been going... It kind of went as bad as I expected, and it kind of did. The fact that there's so much blue can definitely be because of our trading, but it's also just due to the fact that a lot of these units are very cheap. But, like, outside of that, if you look at the whole situation, who has what, who has pressure, it's really not looking very good for Frubblord at the moment. Kerb has all the initiative, and he's just overwhelming Frubblord in so many positions. That's one of the big problems of, you know, it's the Western allies are relatively well countered by Soviets, and what's especially true is that Western allies really struggle against cheap, relatively cost-efficient infantry, or like units in general, like something like the Valentine, because a lot of Western allied units are expensive. Problem is, if you go against something against something like 9CAF, which kind of combines all the nice features that Western allies can't really deal with, you have a lot of the Soviet tools that counter Western allies just nicely in general, and then you have a lot of them are also super cost efficient. I mean, part of the Soviet dominance over Western allies is also cost efficiency, but it's not just that. But yeah, that just means that it's incredibly hard. It says letting Kerb get a top tier division is a death sentence. Well, I would say the same is true if Frubblord got the top tier division. It's like if you're on that level of skill, but you should, like, top tier division need to be banned in either way. Unless you know for sure that you can pick one as well, you need to ban them. Okay, 100%. Again, I'm not really sure why Frubblord didn't ban this. I thought it was a major mistake. Oh, and the Soul Team is gonna get surrendered. No, will not. But the Kazaki will still probably beat this. I mean, it has SVTs and 2 PPSHs, so it's up close. Will still do plenty of damage. It will easily win against that because that one doesn't actually have any shooting power at range, or than the M1. But you know, there's only so much the M1 can do. But surprisingly, the M7 DD have so far proved very valuable. Or not the M7 DD, but like in general, 105 caliber weapons. They are dealing with the Valentines. It is a gamble though, so much is clear. This thing is, I'm not really sure about pushing it forward, but I mean, putting it in defensive position is definitely a smart choice. There's also nothing to spot for it. So, you know, these tanks are effectively blind. So there's a bazooka here, so I think they could be dealt with. I mean, Kerb is generally doing a good job at just keeping up the pressure, like pushing over here when he can, just continuing his push over here. Frubblord, meanwhile, is doing a good job at trying to go for flags. None, which if can counter 9cav? None. No, this is not exactly true. But, oh, look, and now the L2 is coming in. That was only a matter of time. Yeah, no AA. Big issue. I'm going to answer the question in the second round. I also need to think for a bit. Like, on this map specifically... Oh, and the Maxims will probably keep line of sight on this thing. Or maybe these two. L2 fails to get the kill though. P51 is going to get on the back. Oh, and the what's it called? You know, the AT that was here just died. That's actually huge. 51 might still be able to get on the back of it. Don't think the M just can stop that in time. We do see a nice little encirclement moving over here. So Frubblord actually had a really nice way of thought here of just pushing this. Which he did at the start. He knew probably that he was going to lose it. And then now he's pushing from here over here. So that's actually really good thinking there. This is 12 is in. So he only has 2 of those. These are really good. Yeah, well, maybe he can still make up for the losses he had with what he has now on the ground. But the problem is, I agree, Blitz. Like, it's just going to be rough. Like, at the moment, I think... No, he doesn't actually have more on the map. There's this situation over here, which is absolutely horrible for him. And he's just lost P51. That's not looking good. Oh, look at that. This thing killed the Sherman, though, so that could switch things around a bit. He needs to be able to profit from that, though. So he needs to get these 2 flags somehow. There's more Kazakh Pisage coming in. So I have not done that much testing on it, because I've mostly just banned 9cav. And the one matchup that I know of is when I played it in a practice game against the Yapaza quite a while back, and he tried Hartenek, and that didn't work. I would think that something... So you either need super good infantry, like, or units in general, or you need spammable stuff. I could imagine, and I know this is going to sound weird, I could imagine that on a map like Ostrita, some of the Finnish units might actually be able to do it. Otherwise, but maybe Paz is the better person to answer that question when it comes to the Finns, because he's the expert on the Finns. Oh, he shouldn't have moved. Just commit, because he brought down the accuracy now. SSB, yes, that was in my first thought. Actually, that's what I wanted to cover with the very good infantry. I think SSB can do it, probably. The problem with SSB is just, so the other issue that you have to remember is when all of your units are good but expensive, you just don't have as many, and you can get overwhelmed eventually. What that also means is that, you know, for every one of your units, your opponent can bring 2. And he can bring them in like areas like here, where, you know, you have one guy here, it has Raider, it will just hold that flag. 101st, no, am I? 101st will not counter it. 101st is good at countering armor division, and to some extent this is actually, I mean, this is an armor division to some extent. You have to rely a lot also on your... the infantry alone is not just what makes this good, right? You also need the Shermans and the Valentine, which fortunately for Frubblord did not die over here. But in a direct infantry fight, the infantry is very expensive. But because part of that price is also for the bazooka. So in price to performance ratio against a cheap spammable infantry from 9cav, you can't keep up. No way you can. Oh, this thing has a bazooka. It's now hopping forward. Takes out the Valentine, which is actually good because this thing is probably the bigger threat here to any tank. M10 now coming in. But we do see a fresh push here in the center. The Stonewallers are on the back of this. The Kazaki PPSH can easily get in there and absolutely shred that. And there's just nothing that Frubblord can do at this point. I do not believe that this will change in any way till the end of this game. Oh, Sherman bounced, got killed. Yeah, could maybe pop out here. get a shot off, but the way it's currently angled, it might not even be a side shot. And then, of course, not really worth it. And now the Tier 2 comes in. This thing's a beast. That's just not going to get stopped. Second US, maybe. I don't think so, though. It has many of the same issues that BRO has, really. Oh. Mate. Oh, no, it's just shooting at PR2. IL-2 is now coming for it, though. Down it goes. I will probably also kill the M10. Yeah, so if 9cav ever gets the Air Force running, you need AA right away. Otherwise, you have no chance. Just get overwhelmed. And reinforcements are coming in form of the Kazaki SVT, just pushing further. In the center, you know, is still not defeated. Not even close. M10 is here to save the day, though. Kills the Sherman. Getting some good work done there. Oh, and now the Kazaki PPSH push forward with their 1DP G-gun, just trying to kill off the M1 gun. Nothing that... Yeah, just nothing that can be done about it. Up north, push is coming. The engineers are actually one of the things that can deal with the Kazaki PPSH relatively well. Problem is there's another T-70. Stonewall is here. Soul team is getting surrounded. That's a problem. Oh, the Sis-12 is pushing a little bit too close though, so that might die. Stonewalls are going to run into these guys in a bit. Even if these tanks move through, these will generate a new bubble, much like this, and that will grab this flag again. So Frubblord still needs to bring in infantry to deal with that. Even if it doesn't, and even if the bubble didn't, of course, you don't want to have any units running into your backlines, because even if they didn't have an AT grenade, that would be very bad, since, you know, much can happen there. The LHG now coming in, that was probably going to kill that M10, and even if it doesn't, the next one will probably follow very soon. Kerb has the income for it. Yep, Lizak, it looks very much over. My fourth US, I would also not think so. It has the same problem with the infantry. Western allies are just not, in my opinion, not the kind of... Western allies are just not the faction that can deal with 9cav super well. Not at all. I think the answer for a counter for 9cav is going to be either another Soviet division. M10 spam is not going to say. M10 is not the answer to 9cav, Ramai. It just is not. And Frubblord surrenders. That was to be expected. That was a short game. Kerb wasn't actually trading Frubblord super hard, but I mean, Frubblord just couldn't get back in anywhere. It was just impossible. Yes, I totally agree, Lisek. This is, of course, but you know, the question was how you. The question was what could counter it, and I think the Western allies are just not for it. The Western allies really struggle against Soviets in general, and they struggle against cost-efficient tools. And 9cav is the combination of both, so it's just horrible. So Ramai, no Western allied division can do it. SSB, maybe. But that's about it. I don't think ATF can do it because no AA in A phase is going to be an absolute, like, against 9cav, which has good air force. This is probably very difficult. And again, you have the problem of your infantry being expensive and theirs being cheap. So yeah, I think the answers are some German divisions, maybe some other Soviet divisions, and then some of the odd factions. Again, I feel like on a CQC map, I feel like the Finns could potentially do it. But that's a guess. I've not tried it. So on a BRO side, no, Ramai, I try to think of how I can put that in different words, but the underlying problem is really not the types of units that you have in those divisions. The underlying problem is generally how Western Allied divisions work. They rely on combined arms, and they have expensive units that on their own might not be as good, but if you combine them together, you have as a whole, they are incredibly strong. The problem is just that this doesn't really work if you can just get overwhelmed by rows of cheap units that outtrade you. It is such a massive thing that you have, like, the way you have to think about it is also cost efficiency, right? Some of the units can, like, of the Western Allies have, can easily deal with some of the units from 9cav. The problem is just 9cav gets 2 units of the units for every one that, you know, the Western Allies get. Like, for example, your Sherman, you bring 2 Valentines for every Sherman, and the Valentine is also better, but even if it wasn't, 2 for 1, like, it's not a good thing. So Blinde will be absolutely horrible. Blinde is good for town fights, but it relies a lot on armor again, and this is something that 9cav can deal with. So that's not a good matchup. DFL's CQC is to some degree okay, but I don't think it can hold up against. It cannot hold up against 9cav. The Legionnaires with the TNT, you know, they should generally speaking win, but when they have to face 2 Kazaki PPSH, which you should probably be able to bring in against 1 Legionnaire, and then it's not so decisive again. And then the Legionnaire will probably lose, because you have 2 times a ton of PPSHs versus your TNT. And then the range for DFL, the infantry itself, is not fantastic, actually. Again, the combination of it, the combination of it all is great, but I wouldn't count on it. Honestly, Kastritsa 358 might work nicely. How so, Lisek? I can't see how this should work. I mean, if you say so, I'm sure there's something behind it, but I can't really see how this is supposed to work. Yeah, look at that Valentine. Shredding things. Kazaki. I just think kill 2 planes even. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, and in this case, like, all the Western Allied divisions that have the lower armored Shermans already have a problem, because even the Sherman battle is not even at all. So that's where the issue starts. Frubblord killing. Losing some more things. There's because I think that was 1 up north, so the M10 got actually killed by the AT grenade. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, that was a really rough game for Frubblord, for sure. But I mean, as we said, it's a tough one. All right, let's see what they can come up with for game 2. I mean, that went, I guess, about as we expected. I think we all saw 9cav and knew that this was not going to be an easy one. But I mean, if anyone wants to, you know, do a practice game, or anyone who's good wants to do a practice game with 9cav or against 9cav, just trying to figure out how to counter it, I would be absolutely down for it. I do actually want to know what works. But to go back to your questions, Ramai, let me pick up one of the decks that you asked. We can look at Blinde. Where is it? There it is. If you look at this, so your tank tab is easily countered by 9cav. You do also have to go, like, the 100mm of armor Sherman, but you don't have a lot of them. The M10, as we've established, is not actually that great against 9cav, because up close the Sherman can pen it. It's much like a Panzer IV then, and the turret rotation is a problem in the towns. If, like, unless you can engage like frontally, which you can very often, it just requires more work. And it's actually okay, but still, even then, the Sherman can deal with this, and the Valentines will just eat any of these tanks alive. As for the infantry, you have bazookas, so this is definitely an advantage. The problem is just that all of the CQC Legionnaire are just too expensive for what they can do. They won't hold up well. Maquisards are just not good enough at CQC or range to really stop it. The shocks are probably okay, I think. But you have limited amount of those. Even if you take them big face, you get 10. So that's just one of the, like, issues with this, I would say. Like, these guys can definitely do a little bit. If they can probably deal well with the Valentines. But as a whole, I just I have my doubts. be honest. CIBG, yeah, depends a lot on the map. I think CIBG could potentially do it, but it's extremely map dependent. So on a map like Kastritsa, you don't wanna pick CIBG against 9cav, because like in every infantry fight, especially in those forests, you will lose. And as we talked about, 9cav has the raiders, so they will just hold like bubbles of frontline in forests near flags, and you just can't do anything about it with CIBG. Like you can send your infantry and they die. You have limited CQC infantry. You send those in, they might win, but then you run out, and then you're back to the same issue. On more open maps, like more generally mid-range maps, I think CIBG could potentially work, but still you have to be very, very careful, especially because of the IL-2 as well. You have a good Air Force yourself, though, but I wouldn't... I think on a map that CIBG works very well, you probably don't want to necessarily play 9cav to begin with. That's kind of how I would look at it. Might be around it. But I mean, if we go through the list, again, Finnish, maybe these two. Maybe you could outspam it with Tetao. this not actually. I haven't spent any thought on this, but just because it pops up here, I mean, maybe that could actually work. At CQC, you're screwed with Tetao, but you have grenade throwers mostly, and you have so much infantry. I think you might be able to outspam 9cav. But the armor is going to be a big problem, so I'm not. I think that's actually not the best idea. 5th cav, I don't think you can do it. I mean, 5th cav might actually hold up better than BRO, but I wouldn't say it's a counter. Wouldn't say nope. Kessel, maybe. Because you have affordable stuff and you have good stuff. Pretty good units. Problem is, again, your Strix are probably going to die to the Valentine. So, not so sure about that. Rösselsprung, I think Rösselsprung could do it. On a map like this, maybe. But that was banned. 5th Gebirgsjäger, maybe. Because you have the problem is the unit, like the infantry is more expensive. But the MG42 really makes up for quite a bit. It is hybrid, at least. It is more hybrid than 9cav. You have these guys, which are, for mid-range, pretty decent. Bazookas, you have enough of them. Like, you could bring some here if you really want to. You have them with your leader. These guys, not too bad, actually. And the Gebirgsjäger G18, for some reason, seems to perform super well, even when it comes to killing tanks. But the problem is you just don't have... The problem is you just don't, like... You don't have anything. If 9cav gets to air spam you with this division, you're screwed. This is one of the big issues that this division has. Not impossible, though. I think it wouldn't be my first pick, but I think it has a chance of doing it. What else do we have? Maybe? No, I don't think so. I don't think 715th can do it. I have my doubts. What else? This one, no. I would not think so. No. The Fallschirmjäger divisions have kind of the same issue like the Western Allies have, I would say, with just having too expensive units in general. So they just get overwhelmed eventually. But they have some tools that could definitely do it. Just wondering if this actually could work as well. It's mid-range. On more mid-range maps, maybe, because the CQC is a problem. There's a big maybe for that division, but only for a very selected few maps. Probably not. Next up, DBSAS. That could actually work, maybe. I don't think it would, but it would be interesting to try at least. Probably not a counter, but you know, might actually have a chance. What else do we have? CL. I think CL is not a good idea because it will easily lose in the trade aspect. NIV, of course, not. No, no. No, 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 no. This thing, no. You just get overwhelmed with the armor with this. But actually, maybe on Kastritsa specifically, I think that one could work. Because these guys for range are actually okay enough. You have a lot of PPSHs. You have these guys. They should, I think, counter the Kazaki PPSH relatively nicely because they have PPSHs and the TNT. And they're even cheaper. So on Kastritsa specifically, I think this division could do it. Big problem is you don't have any bazookas. But if you can use your infantry the right way, your B-25s, a little bit of armor that you have, and these guys, maybe, they might actually stand a chance. I would think. Next up. VDV kind of in the same boat as Gonna Strike here, I think. Has a chance of doing it. Well, no, you can deal with the armor. With your own armor. And the CQC is better. The problem with this is the range. So again, for Kastritsa might work. Might. I think VDV could work. I think VDV and Gorno could work. Other than that, some Mac. Okay, let's go back from the bottom. What have we? No, no, no. Maybe, but I don't think the CQC is good enough for it, probably. Maybe they do. What else? No, no, no. That's the division itself. Morskaya, you just don't have, no, yeah, don't have any armor in AFA. You have the Circle of Doom off map, though. I think Morskaya could work. It wouldn't be my choice, though. Because you do have, never mind the build, that one is really bad. But you do have Awesomeness yourself, so you can actually at least deal with the armor a little bit. Your CQC is decent and good as well as cost efficient enough. Your Air Force is scary. You have the Circle of Doom off map. You have tools with this division. You have these guys as well. I think that one can work, but it's very risky. No, 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 no. At least one we've talked about. No, no, no. 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 Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, not that many divisions. Maybe Piechotti. Maybe Piechotti. Infantry is fantastic in this one. And they have a good assortment of other support tools, so maybe that could do it. For allies, there are 4. So you mean Western allies, König, or what's it called? Or Soviets? I need to drink something. It's way too hot here. After it's been no for a while, the heat wave has now come back to Central Europe, and it is absolutely killing me. Right, let's see. What is going to be the next? 1 Soviet and 3 Western allies. That doesn't like it. I'm not so sure about the Western allies, to be honest. And the powerful and Panzer III gun. So, I mean... maybe isn't the best choice, Koenig, but I think Schlachwitz on this Lisk map against 9cav would probably do the trick. I agree with Lizek here there. Would probably not be my first choice, because I think there's better options, but I mean, it would do it. One thing that we have not looked at in terms of counters is Dodi. Let's see. What does Dodi have? Makizar again. Sapper. I have to go Mir. Those are good, Partizani, but they're expensive too. That's part of the problem. Montenar have now gone down in price of a BR and a sniper, so that could maybe work. And if 20-point grenade thrower, that should counter the Kazaki PPSH relatively nicely. Some people are not a huge fan of these. I think against some units like the Kazaki PPSH specifically, though, I think this one could potentially do. It's like, it is the same price and it will win. It will throw the TNT, job done. Unless your opponent micros like God, that's a different story. These no. But that's one good starting point, I think. You have radio yourself, which in my opinion is very important against a division like 9cav. And the radio trade is massive. But again, you do have the range. I mean, like, this thing, it is also more expensive than the Kazaki, but it also has a sniper, so that ranges it too. Flamer, not so sure about that one. But, you know, and the Gumia, they're just super chunky. Like, this one is specifically 25 points versus 20 points Kazaki. Like, this thing will win easily, and it will survive easily. Again. And you have bazookas, you have this thing again. I think that would be one of my picks. Probably. I think that might be one of the few Western ally. I'm not really sure if I agree with Koenig with the 3 Western ally counters. But this one, I think, could work. Really? But against something like, I don't know, I feel like the Gumia against something like 9cav with the Kazaki could probably work really well. Or don't you think? 2k Pancherichi. So that's Lizek's answer. I mean, honestly, against 9cav, that might just be enough. But yeah, this one, I think it could work. I think Ramai Koenig means probably that it's just not a good unit for the matchup. Like in general, not good enough probably. To be honest, I'm not the biggest Dodi player. But I would think that this one probably not. This is an old Bink build. But I think this one, like the regular one, where is it? This one I would definitely consider. Personally. It's 90 man, 25 points. I mean, it's so hard to kill. You can use this unit as a good frontline, I would think. Though the DFL ATF are the 3 Western allies. Wouldn't you think SSB too, Koenig? Well, but okay. But like on any map that you would ban, I would play 9cav, you would usually ban the other as well, like the OTA, DFL, and ATF. Then again, you would usually also ban 9cav. I mean, that's the other thing. 9cav is usually also banned, so that's, I don't know. I have my doubts about DFL, to be honest, because I think like I think it's too expensive to counter it. Much like Dodie, but I think Dodie has some units that can do it. Well, I guess you have these guys as well, which can do it. But I feel like the Legionnaires are just not too expensive for what you get out of them against 9cav specifically. And I feel like your armor mix, like Dodie has the same problem. I think like the armor mix is not great. I mean, this guy got style. This much is truly sick. DFL wins because of the bird trip of Legionnaires up there. I'm wondering though, because I mean, these things like double flame is fantastic. It's a very the Kazaki BBSH will have no chance against this. But I'm wondering if like you can almost get 2 for the price of 1 of these. So I'm wondering if 2 will not just overwhelm this. I haven't tried it. I'm actually curious. Yeah, but if it's 2 on 1 Koenig, because I mean, again, this thing is so expensive, so you can just throw like 2 Kazaki on 1 Legionnaire, and it will probably go down. Wouldn't you say so? Because the other thing that you can do, is you slap some of your what's it called, like the recon grenade thrower that 9cav gets. You mix some of these with the Kazaki VPSH, and you know that should do the trick, probably. To be honest, I have my doubts about DFL. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, just because of the price, it is relatively likely to get into that Koenig. That's my point. When everything that you have is more expensive, you're very likely getting into double team. Let's see. No news so far. They haven't started anything, have they? Nope. They're still waiting on the news for the next bands. I'm actually curious to see what the next map's going to be. Now, I actually don't know Frubblord well enough, but I know Kerb well enough to know that any map and division that allows him to be very aggressive is not a good idea, because this is something that he really likes to do. So Frubblord will have to pay attention to that. By the way, I forgot to mention, today's video is delayed a little bit. I have the day off, which is why I'm actually streaming this. But because of that, I was a little bit lazy and felt like I could probably finish the video for today, and I turned out I was a little bit late with that. I took it a little bit too chill. So it will come out in the evening, though. So it will still be released. And then next week, there's going to be the second part of the fun tier list. Then I'm actually going to sit down to do the proper tier list, the one for quick play. But I will also spend some time talking with other people about that first before I actually release that video. But yeah, so that's also all coming. So if you want to have a look, if it's not your kind of video, totally fair. I don't need to look at it that way. But there is the fun tier list if you want to look at how I would rate divisions by how fun they are to be played. But that's of course very subjective. So again, some of you might find these kind of content interesting, some of you might not find it interesting at all, which is totally fair. Hi, Lirio. Yeah, it's your the game that you played actually. That's gonna go live today later on. Kazaki Pusic cannot compete with DFL CQC. Well, on a whole, yes, I would agree, but I would just think that because of like I look at it as in trading, and I would feel that probably DFL, while I think 9CAF would run out first, CQC, I think you would probably uptrade quite a bit before that. That's what I was thinking. DBSS isn't a counter of 9CAF because your inf is not better than Kazaki launch. Yeah, I agree, but I would think it probably could hold up a little bit. Wouldn't you say so? Not necessarily as a counter, but a division that you have a chance with at least. Because I didn't remember what I say for DBSAS. I remember that for some divisions I said it's not maybe not a counter, but I think it can work. Like you can play it probably. This one I would say might be playable. Or what would you say? And 126 air tap can't air swim 9 cafe. Depends. I would say it can probably do decently well. French divisions OP nerfed them all. I think this is that's Pori, right? Saying this. I mean, it is interesting how strong the French divisions are in a game from a French studios. But I mean, you know, they weren't trash, so makes sense. Lol. And Soviet Suffer. Yeah, Soviet Suffer. We all know it. Worst faction in the game, hands down. Absolute needs more buffs. I think they actually get some more, don't they? I hope not. But I wish they also got some nerfs, actually. What I'm feeling is though that with all the changes upcoming, like Western Allies get really well counted now by Soviets. I feel like I'm wondering if the next Axis changes that we get are gonna make it so that these divisions lose some of their edge against Axis as well. Because I think then all of a sudden Western Ally might be in a rougher spot than the other two. I don't think it's going to go that far, but it's actually something that I'm curious to see how it's going to work. Right. Kerb just started texting and then stopped, so I guess they are almost done with the picks and bans. There we go. Harashaye, great map. Let's look through the bans. So Kerb banned first, as he's played 2 now. He banned 3rd Canadian, 2nd Magellas, 3rd Mech, and 20th Panzer. Frubblord banned 1st Magellas, 9 Cav. He's learned from it. SSB, 4 Fallschirmjäger. Kerb then banned 4th US Lair, 7th Mech, CIBG. Frubblord banned 5th Gebirgsjäger, Hermann Göring. Good ban, because Kerb loves that division. At least I have seen him playing it quite a bit. 26 tank, not guard, not the tank, sorry. And 2nd US. Frubblord picked Axis, Kerb also picked Axis. We have 26 Panzer by Frubblord versus Hardneck by Kerb, both on Maverick. Okay, that's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be an interesting one. Sure. I'm surprised. It's Harashaye. We don't see a Western Allied division because it's usually where Western Allies tend to do relatively well. Same for a lot of Soviet divisions, by the way. But, I mean, 26 is a reasonable pick. I think Hardneck is a reasonable counter pick. Hardneck is also a division I've seen Kerb playing quite a bit. I just unfortunately don't know what Frubblord usually plays because I've played against him once and that was with him playing Moskaya. Which is definitely not something you want to play on Harrow. And which would be the Soviet one, König? This I'm now interested. So the ones that I thought like could either counter it or at least have a chance would be VDV on the 29th. And I think Morskaya might also stand a chance. Not saying it's a counter, but I think it would have a chance. And third would probably also okay. Okay. I guess third mechanized. That would be my guesses for the Soviets. And still, I'm wondering if Pichoty can also do it. Not a Soviet one, but Soviet equipped. The CQC isn't fantastic, but you have these guys. It's the Persia. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, it's the rocks. It's not the. Never mind. It's not the double flame one. That would be the. What's it called? Something else. forgot what the name is. But I mean, you have Tankos. What's going to be the problem is that you have these guys, which are 25 points, 10 PPSHs versus 11 PPSHs, 20 points. So maybe it's not that good of a matchup. Don't you have something? Nope. Oh, regulars of Percy might actually do okay in this matchup. Okay, Koenig, Persiani are incredible. Persiani are just better. Gumier PM is the way. Because of Gumier isn't great. It's a Gumier PM you say is okay, but the other one isn't. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I guess DPS is not great, but wouldn't you say that against something like, you know, Kazakis, it will do well enough? Especially considering how junky it is. That would be more the way I would look at it, to be honest. All right, let's see if they're already set up. Not yet. Those are both classical divisions. I would expect them to be relatively fast with deck building, since I should have, you know, a general idea of how that division is supposed to be built. We can actually do the, hold on. Make a little poll. There you go. Want to hear your opinion on the topic. Again, it's on Harashaye. Frubblord plays 26 Panzer Maverick. Kerb plays Harteneck, also Maverick. What are your guesses? I can't see who guessed what, unfortunately. So just have to see what the viewership as a whole decides, and if you're right or not. Currently, Kerb is being favored. I mean, fair after the first game. Can you repeat the match up, please? Yeah, I think just so. Let me know if you need to hear it again. More people favoring Kerb. Ooh. Not looking good for Frubblord then. I hope for him that it's going better for him in the game than you guys predict. Your favorite Hartnett in this matchup? Yeah, we can actually we do the same thing as last time. We just look at the divisions real quick, I think. 26th Panzer, there we go. Again, never mind the builds. I'm not actually playing quick play that much anymore, so a lot of my builds are outdated because I made them and then got better. Not claiming that I'm super good, but some builds definitely I would definitely build differently these days. But what do you have? I mean, you have Panzer IVs, you have Panthers. You have the Strigan 42, which is really good actually. Love this thing, super fantastic. Infantry is basically, it's just standard. You get the Schlosser Paretta, which is definitely good, but that's the only special unit you get there. Recon tab, some light armor, Panzer IIIs, Panzer IVs. More Panther. Support them, nothing special. These guys actually, but against Hardneck, I guess. Well, Hardneck has the Panzer free. The support one. So having one of these yourself can be useful. What else? Nothing special here. You have this thing, but it's more of a meme in my opinion anyway. AA type's gonna be a problem. Yeah, I can kind of see where you would want to favor Hardneck there. Our type is actually okay. This one is okay. You can start spamming a little bit. Oh, so they started deploying. Let's quickly look at Hardneck. We have some time to catch up with the deployment anyway. They will need some time for it. Hardneck. I mean, the big problem that I can see here is this. So knowing that 26 doesn't have a great AT tab, you might not even need to fall back to this, but you know, it just being there as a threat, it makes a big difference. Because it means that 26 player has to buy AA, which is a bit of a struggle. You might need to overinvest, but also if it doesn't, like one of these can totally ruin a lot of armor at once. Next up, the Hetzer, I think against other Axis divisions can actually be decent. Still, not against a Panzer Fool, but you know, against a Panther if he brings that any closer. What else do we have? No real advantage to be had here. I mean, this is in the CQC. Hardneck will win, no problem. There will be a lot of CQC, a lot of either RT or planes needed to deal with that effectively. But these guys are going to be a bit of a problem. Then again, what they do lack is infantry held AT. You take it, this one has it. If you take these guys, these have some, but these are usually at CQC. And then again, the DP has some. But most of the units here, especially range units, do not, and that can be a big problem actually. They do have bazookas though, so. But yeah, Lizix says 26 can snipe the 7-1 of Hardneck and kill everything with the 1000 kilogram Alcyone. I mean, yeah, definitely, but I would say it can also go the other way around, with the executive set 7-1 from 26 getting sniped, and then Hardneck can just, you know, use these guys, which are also super annoying. So I think that kind of goes both ways. But yeah, I will probably say that Hardneck is favored to some extent. And when it comes to infantry, Rama says 26 might lack enough units at the end of the game. Not really, actually. 26 infantry has a lot of infantry to go. 26 Panzer has a lot of infantry to go. So if you play it like an infantry division, then yes, it will run out. But otherwise, I wouldn't think so. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I don't think that 26 will run out. It depends a bit on how you build your tab, of course. that is a whole issue. All right, let's catch up real quick and then. All right, so Kerb got this side. Honestly, what is your opinion? Blue side or red side? Which one is the better? Because I think Karshai is relatively balanced. I prefer one of the two, but I don't want to influence you yet. Yes, exactly, Koenig. Hardneck can do the same to 26 Panzer. This is exactly my point. As well, this is not an advantage. All right, so let's stop the poll here. But I do see a clear favorite here, which is Kerb. 75% of you guys believe that Kerb will win this one. Larry says blue side would be better, less flags on the front. Lizek also says blue better. Ramai says a red is advantage. Colonel says stats don't lie. It is almost 50. That's such a Koenig answer. I mean, not saying that this isn't true, but you know, he's just, for those of you who don't know, he's the guy who's collecting all the stats. And he says it's almost 50-50. I would say it's not super unbalanced actually. Yepa says he prefers red side. Pushing that wooded outcropping is so easy for red. This one, yes, because of the northern flag. To be honest, I think it's probably not that unbalanced. Yeah, or it comes in one of the more balanced maps. Totally agree on that. But I would say, I don't know. I prefer red, but I wouldn't say it's stronger. Red is easier for, like, red is maybe easier because you can more easily get a flag here going. But once this is gone, it's not that decided anymore. And the red has this. So if red goes over here, blue can make a push to grab all three of these. And that's a big advantage for blue side. But like what blue can do, you can lose these 3 flags in the town, you can grab these 3 and you still can win. If you lose the town for red side, it's much harder because you can grab 1 flag here, maybe 1 flag here, and then you have to push super deep. So I think red has an easier start, but blue has good chances in the long, or has more options in the long run. I wouldn't say it's better, just you have options, I would say. Because you still need to, you know, manage to take this. It's not that easy. But yeah, I would also say it's not. I would agree with Koenig there. Probably not favored. But I think most people prefer probably red because there's this right here. Because the fun thing about this is, you know, you cannot push it. You can push it with 1 unit, or you can make a big push and try to actually grab more. Blue, of course, never knows what happens, so you then have a choice. You can send nothing there, and if red sends 1 unit there, you get it for free. Or if red sends 1 unit there and blue actually decides to contest it, blue needs to send a lot of units because you never know how much red is going to commit. So I think blue is a disadvantage because of that when it comes to that. Greg says the map stats will come when I will have enough samples for at least play maps. Fair enough. Makes sense. But very interesting, very curious to see those, by the way. I think map stats can be very interesting. So based on the deployments, you do see basically nothing down south, right? Jaeger MP44 and a Panzerschreck. I guess it's going to be defensive over there. Panzerschreck, Panzer IV, Panzergren, Recon over here. So no push here either, because red sometimes decides to push for that one. It's not super rewarding, but it can make a difference, of course. In the town, we do see a lot of infantry so far from Kerbanautg tanks, though. He just tries to rush in with Stostrup, though. He loves to do that. I played against his on Tunberg, I think, against his Hartneck. And I've seen him playing Hartneck before. I think this is very much his kind of play style. He's an aggressive player, so it's something you need to know. And apparently he likes this with Hartneck, just rushing Stostrup everywhere. And he's so annoying. Very balanced out deployment here by Frubblord. Same here as well. With some infantry, some tanks, recon tanks most importantly. So you can dig these guys out. There's no AT or no armor so far in the town. It might follow. Make a big deal. This looks like a lot, but I mean, the Panzergren is actually expensive. These guys are not. Here's SMG is also not expensive. Okay, we had a lot of light armor here. Decided to ditch that. Now it's an FK288, more right Jäger. Let's look up north. Not some CQC here. AT Recon, who's a wreck. So maybe he wants just to secure this off. Maybe he also tries to push into there eventually. Not really sure what the goal there is. On the other side, there's Stostrup Beretta, some MG. So my guess would be he tries to rush those in there and then just goes defensive with the rest of the units, which is very reasonable. Now we have a massive deployment in town. Now the Panzerschrecks are coming, the VKs are coming. No proper tank though. That could prove to be an issue in the long run. So let's see. It looks like the viewership for some reason just dropped. I'm not really sure if the stream is still live or if it just died. Let me know if you can see here or write anything. I'm not sure if my stats just... Something's just died on my end. Yep, still seeing it. Okay, so it's just some sort of bug because it doesn't show me that anyone is viewing anymore. Interesting. I'm not, you know, just sometimes check them to see if everything is working and just realize that apparently there's 0 viewers. So that's according to, you know, according to OBS. Yeah, the shots are getting into good positions. Can't really be contested here, I don't think. Early leadership here, though. From both, actually. Really nice to see that. And, okay, right there, just in defensive positions, FK 288 as well. Now, blob, maybe there's a bit of a strong word. 2 T-34s, though. Panzer 4 coming in. Guerrilla moving in. Claire trying to get in there is actually, or could be huge. It's really annoying if you have those over there. Well, I mean, I can see the concept, Lizek, because, I mean, they're kind of like, you know, a replacement for the Flamer that you don't have. This is such a classic place to put your recon in, and it's so annoying because you can see everything here. 12-12 at the moment, with this flag being grabbed by Frub. This flag being grabbed by Kerb. Thanks to the Stoßtruppen, by the way. Not a big push coming on. Kerb again with the recon plane. Frubblord now reacting with some Gepards. That should do the trick. But the problem is, again, if an AT plane is going to come, it's probably going to be goodbye for a lot of these. 2 Gepards at double vec can definitely stop that there. Guerrilla now making a bold move on its own. But there's nothing to stop it, so why not? Love this recon here, actually. I've never thought of putting it there. Does anyone know, is it better than, like, up here or here? I mean, like, further forward's probably better, but is there any benefit to putting it in the house instead of the forest? Is what I always do and what I see most people doing. The VK, yeah, your student probably will not stand a chance against this. Although something looks like killed the Panzer III here. Is that it? No. Somewhere there's got to be a recon, or maybe just move. Maybe it's that one is it. Beretta now moving in. The killer can kill the Panzerschreck in time. That would be huge. The Gepards are arriving. Another T-34 coming in up north. The one MG42 can probably do the Richter, stop the right Jäger. Recon's being forced off. Guerrilla now moving into safe position. Very smart and reasonable, of course. Schosstrup got killed off as well as the, and so did the Panzer IV support one. That's kind of the problem. If you're in, like, in all these areas with some CQC and then Panzerschrecks, it can be really annoying to work through. Pioneer, though, spotted the Panzerschreck. Doesn't have a lot of DPS. It will eventually be enough, though. Triple star T-34s. That's scary. It really is. He did... Did he double vet the Panzer III? He did. And there's the ME210. F410. Gepard will not be able to stop that. Guerrilla is a nice spot to clean out things over there. Line of sights and towns and hills are always weird. So there's that. I might actually lose it. I mean, it flew directly over it. The fact that it has a slow turning, like, a long, like, big turning radius doesn't really help. No, it can't. Gets out. But, it looks damaged. Tried to have a look, get a look, but relatively difficult. I guess it should take a while for it to... Oh, one Gepard gets sniped. That's big. Not the end of the world. It's not like losing an STK sets in one, but it matters. Oh no, they are single vet. The other one is double vet because it's the leader. I was going to say. Because the problem with these guys is the red curve in 26 is not so generous. The one in 20th Panzer for some reason is, and I think the same goes for Tatra. Not for this division. 1 T-34 down to Panzer III. That's huge. Up north, we do see an engagement of the Stoßtrupp Beretta versus the Leitjäger MP44. Looks like the Stoßtrupp Beretta has this. Interesting. No, it does not. Well, the 1-on-1 though. I guess since he got the first Molotov off, maybe. No, nothing happening down south. Hetzer coming in. More Panzer III's coming in as well, though. Hetzer needs to be careful. Yeah, for the open, he can definitely do it. And that will be in the right spot to deal with the guerrillas. And that's why he put it there. The Panzer III coming in. Let's see if Frubblord spots this in time and can deal with it. Champagner pushing forward. They probably want to deploy smoke. I think they're going to get absolutely threatened now. They do. And then he falls back. Nice micro there by Frubblord. Actually, smart choice to deploy smoke first and then fall back and just hitting the small fall back button. Just Beretta is falling back, moving in another position. Interesting. LiveCast coming in though, so this will soon fall. MG42 coming in though. So Frubblord has realized that he can't hold this for a long time and now just gives up. And this is what Red can do, and it can mean that blue sometimes needs to commit there, and then if units there that can't really do much. But now the LiveCast, that's all just CQC. MG42 gets spotted out. So that could give Frubblord some time to run with the Gorilla. It's also important to note that neither of these players here do have an income advantage at any point in time, which is huge. Or which means that, sorry, what I want to say, which makes this huge. Like, single tick is already very important then. There's no AA yet. So Frub could definitely start bringing in his Alcyone. Gorilla's now falling back, as I guess the T-34 being there already scared him off. So the heads can't really do much anymore. What he can do though is he can actually start cutting this off. That would also be huge. So Frub needs to react to that somehow now. At the moment these should probably get out there. Then again, like if he gets in too close, the Panzer IIIs can pen the heads, and that's not a good thing. So far, Frubblord actually works relatively well. Oh, bailed out. The power of the APCR, that's so hard and so rarely really works this well. But it just shows itself today. Panzerschreck probably managed to get in there. And the Panzer IIIs are just trying to find a way around. They probably need some infantry support though. Stück now coming in. As well as some Husarak. These are chunky. These are hard to kill. That can be a bit of a problem. Pioneer unit not in the right spot to throw grenades. Just up in the church tower actually gives him a lot of vision. If you check here real quick, we see that Kerb sees, yeah, Kerb sees a lot. Now if you look at Frubblord, Frubblord sees barely anything. The church tower is huge. It really is. It's something you either take it or you have to destroy it. Or you have to be very confident that you will win very soon and be able to use it yourself. One of those things needs to apply. Otherwise, you're making something wrong. Strastrup will stop that Panzergren. It's gonna get obliterated now. North Strastrup Beretta still holding on. Killer offer a LiveCast, just can't really do it. And south, nothing happening, no reinforcements coming in whatsoever. Krill now up here. It's a nice overwatch position. He can't really do much from here at the moment, but he will also be able to stop any pushes up there. Stu-42 coming in down south as well. Well, this division doesn't really have any AT that can deal with it anyway, so at 2k. So I guess response would be a Panther. Or I guess a Panther 4 would do it as well. They can definitely deal with that Hetzer and the Stu-42, because they can actually have range of Stu-42 as well. The problem is that these are pushing relatively far forward without any Gepards, so I think that's a huge opportunity for Kerb to bring out his AT plane again. I mean, he can bring a recon plane that should keep the Gepards busy unless he manually focuses. Oh, 42 bounce shot from the Panzer III finishes it off. But yeah, I would be surprised if we wouldn't see the AT plane returning very soon. No bazooka here. The other one seems to have died as well. So actually the armor can do a lot of damage now. We do see the FK231 in 75mm. This thing is fantastic. Like, this is one of the best light artillery pieces in my opinion. It has a very high rate of fire, especially double vet. It is very accurate actually within radio range, otherwise not really accurate, and it will kill. So if you leave anything unattended within radio range of this, it will get slayed. Oh, he bought the Jagdpanzer 4A0, which is big because outside of, oh yeah, it's within what's it called, HL range, so he has to be careful. But outside of APC, like except for the APCR, the Hetzer will probably, oh no, it's the A0, sorry. Okay, never mind, it's not that good. But at least it's not much more expensive. It's about the same price, I think, right? A little bit more expensive. Recon plane coming in, getting forced off. Now this thing comes in down south for the Jagdpanzer. Should probably get the kill. If it flies the right way, which have been that way, it would have been guaranteed to get out. Now I'm not so sure. It brings single 20 mils. Ooh, not a fan of that. I think he would want to have some leadership with those just to make sure that they are triple that, and then he might have been able to kill the ME410. So this way I think it's going to get out, as it did before. Yeah, it's going to get out. I know this division is like really desperate to get some AT, but I don't think single 20 mils are the way to go. Gepards are a little bit different because they're mobile and armored, and very important, you get 3 at double that. For those you only get 2, so you have to bring them at single that, which is significantly worse. Pack 40 is now in. Got a hit on the Stu 42. Panzer 4 is now also in. Should be able to kill him off. There's another ME410 to go for the Panzer. He's flying directly into the Gepards again. Got the Panzer though. So that's a good trade-off. Yeah, I think bringing that Panzer without any more AA coverage was a major mistake. This is what we talked about when we were looking at the decks, right? Or at the divisions, what they could have. This is a major issue right there. There's another 20 mil in. Does it make a difference? No, still going to get out. It's not going to lose a single plane for this. And he brings another 20 mil. See, this is the problem. Like, 2 of those already 70 points. It's just expensive. Yeah, I agree, Lisek. Not taking the 771 is a major mistake. You need to. 39 for Frubblord, though. He managed to just barely grab this flag. He grabbed this one. Needs to be careful here with the Panzer III, though. So the right Jäger is on his way there with the bazooka. Just kill a Pioneer there. Hetzer's in there as well. Hetzer's spotted something. Panzer III is also spotting something. Probably the right Jäger. More Panzer III spotting things. One of these gets in, a Panzer III is toast. Still nothing happening. There's a Wurfram now coming. Yeah, that can obliterate quite a few things. So that's definitely a good call there by Frubblord. However, he needs to protect that with AA. It looks like another Gepard went down somewhere here. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. Because another ME410 coming in and sniping that would be absolutely backbreaking. Oh, look at that. This thing died. No, not died, but it got pinned. I don't know by what. Maybe... Oh, the Panzer IV F1 got vision on it, looks like. Fails to finish it off. Can it manage to do it before the Hetzer comes in? No. Now the Hetzer is in. Panzer III can't really do much. Right Jäger coming in. They can unload. They could just drive up and unload right there. Maybe they can't. No, they could. Be able to do so. But they might be able to manage to move in. 1311 still though. ME410 got in. Oh, oh no. It killed the... Yeah. It killed the Gepard. Oh, that's rough. Wolframen now going for what? This blob, I assume? Yeah, that can definitely do a lot of damage there. No, it's a bit too short by the looks of it. As some of the units either have moved or Frubblord just kind of guessed the wrong spot. This thing is in an interesting position. I've never seen that. Just noticed now. But we have a nice push here with some more armor. And that could be dangerous. That can also cut off the resupply road. This thing has AP, by the way. Panzer IV. Oh, got killed by the Stu 42. Now he's falling back. Interesting. 13 for Frubblord still. Relay got stopped by the Hetzer. Panzer III here and Panzer IV. I think a nice spot there. Never really noticed that. I'm not really sure why he pushed forward with that, to be honest. He's holding that flag with these tanks somehow. The guerrilla is coming after the Hetzer. I mean, why not? It's HE. Eventually it will do damage too. The back 40 is also still in a good position, so that could be dangerous for the Hetzer. Especially since the Hetzer drives right into it. I think it's going to get a side shot here now. No, Hetzer's turning. It's not getting inside, so it's also missing. Heads just spotted it, thanks to the outflare here, I assume. Bouncing. Now, that would be the time to engage with these guys. 75 mils are in again, going after the 20 mil. Yeah, there's one 20 mil left, and that's about it for the AA. So, Frubblord might just get air spammed here. Now the tanks re-engage, should be able to get a kill here. Panzer IV can definitely do it, and it does it. The 210 now coming in, the big gun. There we go. Currently not looking too bad for Frubblord though. However, Kerb, you know, is picking apart Frublord's AA, and Kerb also has heavy bombers, and he has the AT plane still, so if those come back, that's just goodbye. There's no AA for Kerb either though, so Frubblord bringing a fighter would definitely... He brings more 20 mils. Oof. I can't say I agree with that. Not at all. We've seen how two Gepards were doing, and they were double that. Oh, the Panzerblob taking out one of the artillery pieces. Might actually claim the other one as well. Outflare here still not revealed. Pack 4 is still alive. At this range, there's not in radio range, and it's a long range either as well. So they can definitely do quite a bit of damage. Another heads are going down. So Kerb losing a lot of them. I think Frubblord might be able to do it, but he needs to secure the skies, because this can turn in one go. Let's bring in more units on the ground. I do not really agree with that. Again, I think he needs more AA. He needs to cover this up for good. Even the FAMO if it needs to be. Which is terrible, but... Oh, Pack 40 is in there. Finds a Stu 42. Panzer 4 in there as well. Oh, Hetzer drives too close to probably the Panzer 3s over there. Oh, it's a Panzer 3, not a Panzer 4. Never mind, that's why. Hetzer in up close. Hetzers are really good against Western Allies, not so much against Axis though. Because Axis tanks can pen it, like the Panzer IV can pen. Oh, gun jammed on the Hetzer. That's big. The perfect moment to get a 1,000 kilogram Alkione. It would be. It would be, Lizek. Oh, Hetzer spot the Panzer IV. But see, the ME410 is back in. It's not going to do anything. Probably killing both of these, unless it fails to do so in time. And if it turns this way, which it does, the 20 mils will tickle it a bit, but probably not kill. Yeah, another one down south. Yeah, he has both there still. And they both turn in a way where, yeah, he needs more AA. Like, he probably, yeah, he needs a FAMO or something like that. SCKF set would also help because it will kill them. It might not stop them because they can shoot from quite far away, but he needs something to deal with to stop them. Again, the FAMO, as bad as it is, will stop it long range, and that would be huge. The plop of Marder and the Grilla up here, interesting choice. Wolframen, one rocket going after. Oh no, felt like he stopped it. Is he gonna stop it though? No. Gonna kill that, but it's another flag. More hetzers coming in. I think the problem is that for Kirby is that he's throwing away a lot of hetzers. Not, it's not that he's using them carelessly, but hetzers are just, they are expensive, at least more than a Panzer IV. Yes, I agree, Libby. The S6 won't rip your line. So as I said, it probably won't stop them in time, but it will kill them afterwards. Oh, there's one plane going down. Not the one he needed, but it is one. It's also still huge because you can move your tanks sometimes in safe positions, which can really make a difference. And the recon plane can still spot them, which is not the case now anymore. Panzergren, oh, killed it off with the Panzerfaust. The right Jäger can kill that Panzergren though. It's going to be a bit of an issue, but so far looking very good for Frubblord, 15-9. And again, triple ticks in a mirror income is huge. So Frubblord's doing actually a good job at just keeping up the pressure here in the center. Grinding it out, and the grinding seems to work. But he's still not buying more AA. This is... I'm losing my mind over this. Like, this is crazy. This is insane. And it's bringing in a Panther, of all things. It will get killed. Maybe he's counting on winning before that, but I'm not so sure. Like, the losses will start to add up. Reinforcements are getting sniped here now. That's definitely not good. The Mercer, see, there he comes again. And as we said, the tanks are just too far forward, which he has to. It's not actually a mistake by Frubblord, but with the A that he has, it's too far. It turns the wrong way though, so that could be fatal. That could be the loss of an M2 ME410 because these are, oh no, double vet, single vet. So it's basically the same as we had. Oh no, actually get down. Ooh, that's huge for Frubblord. Might be turning it around now. I mean, he is in control of things. However, as we've established, the AA, like, he would have lost the control relatively soon because of the AA situation and the plane situation. However, losing one of these ME410s is huge. Will the Panzer III be able to get a shot off here? The Panzer IV here could engage, and he does. It's a nice flanking there, and the Hetzer goes down. Another Hetzer here as a Panzer III kills the Panzer III. This one might engage though. This one not in a position, but if it hops out, it might be able to get a Panzerfaust off. Hetzer spots it though. Something happening down south? Not really. SK-18 has been silent so far. I could definitely start going after the Mercer. What's the rate of fire on this actually? 8's massive, but 3 rounds versus 6 rounds. And the SK-18 is pretty accurate. Might be okay to start counter-battering right now. Or going after whatever is there. Oh, the Wolfram goes down. That's massive. I mean, the Mercer has been going after it for a while. So, Frubblord has not moved it, and that was a massive mistake. Huge kill there for Kerb. Because the Wolfram could have done a lot of damage here. Like, any of these tank blobs here could have easily been deleted by this. Not a Hetzer going down by a Panzer IV. Not a Panzer IV working on these guys here. These can kill a Panzer IV. Oh, but the Panzer IV F1 is here to support as well. Very good engagement. So Frubblord just getting a lot of good line of sights here with some of his tanks and getting good double gauges. Marder going down. Not a Marder going down. The Panzer's not revealed itself, but is... Oh, finally we do Sagittaria coming in. He had these all along, and there was no AA. He has not decided to bring it out even once. That baffles me. Wow. Sagittaria should pick up the kill here. It does. That's a huge kill there for Frubblord, who's back to 59, mind you. So that's pretty huge. He actually, we've not really noticed that, or at least I haven't. Maybe you did. He's actually pushed back up north here. That's what's bringing him to 59 right now. Sagittaria is pretty much uncontested here at the moment. AA might follow soon, but if Frubblord just decides not to bring any more Air Force afterwards, that's a good deal for him. He dealt with what he needs to deal with, and Kerb invests into AA. If he does. Panzergren moving forward. I was going to say, these guys and the right viewer might have something to say about that, but if that one gets in, the Hetzer will be dead. I don't think the Hetzer can survive that. It's driving right into it. And down it goes. Another Panzer full engagement here. I don't know how he does it. Frubblord really making great use of the line of sight in this town. I have no idea. It looks like he's doing some miracles. IM speed, when will the update come? We don't know. We don't know. I wish it came soon, but it doesn't look like it at the moment. We have not gotten any news. I think today would have been, it's another Friday, so today could have been more news, which we didn't get, so there's that. Panzer IV coming in here, so the VKs might not survive for long. Right Jaeger being slaughtered here as well. Artillery's going after the Pak 40 there. Right Jaeger MP44 won this. But still, Right Jaeger MP44 coming in, but they can't really push for it. And now the Alcyone comes in. There's no AA, and there's barely anything left for Kerb. It brings another ME410 instead. Sagittaria could come back though. Going after the Panzer instead, it's not really going to change much. The Alcyone is turning, I guess, as he sees that this is about to fall. He could actually come bomb the Murphys if he wants it. Koenig says, according to stats, Hartnett is not great on high 50% win rate, while 26 has 70%. At the moment, he confirms it. I'm not surprised by how the game goes from outrider Kerb with his tanks or Kerb with planes. Yeah, I think it really could have made a big difference if Kerb got to kill more with the planes. I personally wouldn't have expected it to be 50% versus 70% though, to be honest. But I didn't really consider the Hetzers, so that's probably true. Because as we've seen, the Hetzers are a big problem because the Hetzers are so expensive. Now an SCKF set 1 is coming in, but I don't think there's anything to save with that. And the good thing for Frubblord, he called off his Alkiona because he realized it didn't need it. He could just bring it back like up here and do another push right there. So I think now Frubblord has all the opportunities. Especially if the Sagittarius sticks around, which is not what you usually want to do. The SDKF set might reveal its position, letting Frubblord know that it's there, so the Frubblord will just be able to use this Alkiona everywhere else and not be bothered by anything. But Frubblord takes the win as Kerb surrenders. Very well played by Frubblord. That was actually really impressive. I would have expected the AT planes being relatively unbothered to be a major issue, more than it was. So I'm very surprised by that. But you never learn. This is partially, at least, why I also love watching these. Yeah, that's like almost 1,000 points, and that's massive if we consider the fact that this is mirror income. And the income is throttled, right? Like if it's a mirror income with balance, 1,000 points is also big. But it's not as big of a difference as if your income is very low. So at the start, we got some good engagements here actually for Frubblord. Returned to some extent by, with the planes and with some G42 and things like that by Kerb. But from there, it's a bit mixed, but definitely more Frubblord than Kerb when it comes to the units that kill. And also we have to remember that some of the units that Frubblord killed were much more expensive than the ones he lost to Kerb, speaking of the Hetzer. So in terms of kills specifically, the Panzer III did really well. I mean, they are, it's not a big outtrade, but he started outtrading it right here. And that's the first Hetzer down, that's massive. Support Panzer IVs are not to be underestimated for sure. This thing killing both these was also huge. That was a really bad loss. Oh, look at that Panzer IV. Wow. Killing 5 Panzer IIIs and the Hetzer and a ton of infantry. That guy here. That's a unit. Panzergren slapping quite a bit as well there. Sagittarius only got one, but that's, I mean, that already paid off then, I think. ME410, it did damage. I mean, this one definitely paid off. I think had the game gone longer, I think that's a big point here. Had the game gone longer, that could have really added up, assuming that they didn't die. But since it was a relatively short game, it didn't really have time to get a ton of kills, but that could have made a big difference for sure. Other than that, what do we have here? This one again, like, it's killing so many tanks. That's an absolute unit there. That's M44 doing what they do best. And the rest is kind of meh. Not bad, but meh. I mean, like, these 2 tanks alone are worth less than the Hetzer. So even if he kills 2 tanks, it doesn't pay off. Now, with this one, it does. But that just shows you how imbalanced this was. Panzer IV is 40 points. Stryk M42 is 40 points. So 40 points, sorry, for both each. And the Hetzer is 95, so, or 90. So that just makes a big difference. But anyway, let's see what comes next. So that means we get a third game. But before that, I will quickly have to take a brief break. Dave will have to do picks and bans first anyway. And I will have to grab something to drink and go a quick toilet break anyway. So see you in just a bit, 4 to 5 minutes, and then I will be back. Let's actually switch to the, I need to know which one. This one. All right. See you in just a bit. All right, I am back. And as Kerb just let you know, I also got work from Frubblord in the meantime. Game 3 is gonna be tomorrow. So no game 3 today. I think we'll do one quick play game. Maybe 2, depending on how I feel, but it's getting really hot in my room. Having the computer running in a closed room in summer is death. So let's see what we are gonna play. Because at least I get some practice, and I need to do that anyway. So for all of you who were just here for the game, thank you all for watching. Kerb says thank you for your confidence in the poll. Sorry for letting you down. I mean, you gave us a good. He gave him a good run, and he gave us a good game 1. So I think no reason to feel like you've let anyone down. Maybe game 1 also is part of the reason why why the poll was the way it was. But anyway, I mean, you played super well, especially game 1. That was brutal. Game 2 was also brutal, but in the other way around. I mean, as we've established, I think you run with your AT planes, that was actually pretty bad for him. That's really bad, big times. Just sad that he couldn't profit from it enough. All right, I will go and do quick play game then. I mean, we talked about that too, Kerb. 9cav is just something else. Like, that division is brutal, and I think BRO is not a good counter to 9cav, not at all. But still, if you don't use 9cav correctly, you can still lose with it. I have seen that. So, what are we gonna play today? What are we gonna play today? I would love to go for like some of these, like Monte or even Tetao, but it's just not good practice for League, probably. That's why I don't really want to play them. I should start playing some divisions I don't really play very often, because especially since I'm making content, I know that some of you know which divisions I really like. It's unavoidable, even if you don't make any content. At some point, you know everyone's favorite picks. I also should probably change the title to Quick Play Games. No. All right, quickly changed the title of the stream to adjust for what we're doing now. And let's move back to it. 5th SS, 21st Panzer, 1st SS. Okay, I don't like 21st Panzer, and I don't really play it. 5th SS, on the other hand, is a good choice. 1st SS, that's Lazar, right? I don't really like that division either. It's also not super good, to be honest. On some maps, it's decent, but ooh, I wouldn't mind Vangelos at all. But for 5th SS is a division that I already play. I think 2nd is one that I don't really play that much, so that's definitely a good one to at least get some practice in with it. 1st is one that I actually play, so that one is not necessarily one that I need to practice. Yeah, that's true. They're both good picks, although they're usually banned, very often at least. Where is it? Second. There we go. Right, it's a Maverick division. Let's look at what I've managed to build up here. So, oh, this is oh my god. Okay. Again, you see, some divisions I play in tournaments only, and this is a perfect example for this, because I would never put that in anymore. This is an old build. I think we have to start from scratch, don't we? Yeah, let's just start from scratch. Sometimes it's easier to do that than work with a messed up build. This one is actually okay. But not taking this is not... Oh, it's double vet. Okay, we have to think about that. This is okay. This is okay, I reckon. We don't necessarily need them. It's going to get expensive, and we have. No curb. This one I actually like to not double vet because the reason why I don't want to do that is we get 3, which would be usual, right? But in my opinion, 3 recon infantry, I've been of that opinion for a long time, that 3 is enough. But the more I play, the more I realize, and there's people telling me that help finding that out too. It's usually not enough, so I'd rather have 4. We get 1 more for free, which means 4 is maybe okay-ish. It's at least a bit better, so we might get away with not needing more recon infantry, which I would prefer. But this is okay. I don't really use this. Okay, if this is so cheap and we're either going to get the off map, which is probably not that good. What about you get 4 Collins? 105 is usually okay. But then we might be able to put that in which case I would definitely bet this up then. Well, let's wait with that for a second. So, what do we have here? This thing is not very good. Not necessarily want to take it. Yeah, this one, no-brainer. I actually prefer recon planes that have a little bit of stain. This thing is good if you want to do transport sniping, which I don't do. So, it's not that good. Anything else? Maybe... The reason why I put it at, I put the veterans there is just that otherwise I would overcommit to them, so I don't want to do that. All right, let's start with the 2 most important tabs and then work our way down. We have these guys. We want to have 1 in A phase and 1 in B phase. We can bring into the group. So, we don't have that many of them. Still, those are important. Good, got that done. Now we can get, we should take this one in a group as well. Speed is important. Yeah, I know, Grim Guy. The other, and that can be a problem because then to tank it out, but also it's really expensive. I know it's also super fast and it has medium resilience, but it is so expensive, and this division can deal with a lot of tanks. There's definitely situations where it struggles. I've actually played once or twice in tournaments, and I've had this issue, but I'm not so sure if it's worth it. All right. No, we're not finished with that yet. Sorry. We need CQC. Now those are more of a hybrid unit, but still can't really vet it up. Can't justify it. We get more of them in C phase, and we get some in B phase. Maybe it's worth it actually. 51 infantry, that could do. It's risky, but that could do. We're gonna come back to that later. To run 2s, yes please. To run 1s, yes please. We're also gonna take some of them in B phase. The 1s we might be able to double that. It hurts, but we're gonna do it. These, we could also, let's do it. Let's just do it. Panzerforce in B phase. And then we probably want to have Panther in B phase as well. And then some leaders, I just don't know what. This thing is phase locked to A phase, which kind of sucks. It's also phase locked to A phase, which also kind of sucks. And this thing sucks. Not because of the phase locking. So maybe this one in A phase, and then we have save of some of these guys for B phase. Although, is it really worth it? No, probably not. Take them in A. I think that's a big tank that should do the trick. Oh, just noticed something. Before I forget, we're not going to take this with the ammo. I don't really do that anymore, unless it's a quick play, balanced grind set build. I do not think that ammo with your artillery is really good because you don't need it anyway. You still want to have normal ammo anyway, especially if you have one of these in A phase. We just can't afford it with the ammo, and then we need regular ammo anyway. Now, as for the AA tab, it sucks that we have only these guys because they're more expensive with the heat shell, but also availability is reduced if you compare it. Because what I really like to do about those, is to get them at double that, which we can't now. That might do the trick. Maybe take another one. So we have 6A that should do the Nimrods that shouldn't die super easily. And we still have 10 points left to distribute. Okay, so in that case, since at the moment we don't really have a radio anyway, so we should get these guys, but they're not regular recon, then they're more for radio, so we should keep those. But since we can use a dual purpose, we can then put that to double vet, which is better, as Kerb suggested. Next up, maybe more machine guns in B phase. Could be helpful for sure. Let's just double vet this as well. It's way better this way. Next up, do we need more planes? I have started taking fighters more often again, but in this division, I really do not believe we need them. Maybe it's worth keeping this then. Could we take anything in the artillery tab? We could get mortars. It can be useful over this. Off map might also be a good choice then. It's a cheap one. Actually, let's do it. Let's do it. We don't have, so if you're like in the town or something like that, like we have limited infantry and that off map can really save the day. We're going to get more infantry then as well. I'm just going to take these guys then. Going to use them as hyper infantry. We should, Legion might be better. But I think we need the numbers. They would have radio though. No, that's a tough one. Why not take the scout plane with bombs? Even if you don't convoy raid, it's still great for taking out AT. Yes. The reason why I don't want it, I usually like to bring recon at the start. And I want to keep using it. And this thing with the very good resilience just has more survivability. There's a good argument for taking this though. I agree. You can definitely take it for that as well. But then I use it more as a bomber, assuming that it will go down. And with this, it is more a long-term investment, I would say. This is an outrade investment, basically. I will have to think about it. I just first want to see what else we have available that we might want to take. I don't think anything in the recon. These you can take these guys. They're not bad, at least compared to the rest of our infantry. And we have more recon. This thing is horrible. I would never take it. Warlords is spam. Not really necessary. Commander not worth it with the amount of leaders we have. More AT is too expensive and not necessary. The Strug is the only thing I would consider. This would be good, but we have the infantry with it, so we can make it without. We don't need anything else here. This thing is really not that good, so we can make without it. And we can make do. Don't need more artillery. We could take an infantry, artillery leader there, which I usually don't, but maybe it might be worth it here. Or we just go back here and actually buy that damn thing. But I think I would rather buy this then. Because this thing is fast and is more survivability. So for the long run, I think I prefer this. Do we get a fighter though? No, we get this because there's actually going to be like any Soviet tank, heavier tank, or if just nice to, is going to be a problem for us. So maybe it's worth having it. We can take it in A. I think if we buy 2 of those, we might have some issues. Probably not buying it in A though. Yeah, okay, so if we're not going to buy it in A, we might as well just take it in B. Good. I think that's okay. Not the best build there is, but it should work, probably. And as always, you know, Whenever you build your deck, you want to play it afterwards, and then you can always go back and see what you need to change, because sometimes it's quite a bit, sometimes it's nothing. And that was quick. So let's see if there's actually someone in the queue today, or if it's someone sniping. General Kenobi. Oh. No, I was too slow. I like the theme. General Kenobi and starts with a loader. Love that guy already. What are we up against? Lazar on a balance build. Alright. Not a good Air Force, better infantry than us. Not really any light or medium armor, so if it runs against a Panzer IV in this area specifically, we can do damage. And a lot of it, actually. We need to be careful. He has the... what are they called? First of all, he has more speed, but also he has the... you know what I mean? The... forgot the name. The recon thingy. The not so good, used to be good transport sniper. What's the name? Anyway, doesn't matter. And of course, it's an Apple left, so it's going to be sure. Pumas, thank you, Grim Guy. I don't know why I forgot it, because I mean, it's a unit that I should know super well, but apparently not. Good. So we're going to do the classic of deploying flamers, like right here. Yes, that keeps us the flag. There's not really much he can do. And we're just going to put an MG34 like right here, and that's it. Flag secured. The only problem is if he's over here. However, I have definitely had cases where I had infantry standing here, the flamer here not moving, and I couldn't spot it. So, might be okay. Might be okay. This infantry is better, but also more expensive. We have a lot of support tanks, though. We can also, of course, shoot. Well, in this case, not really. Usually, we would have the advantage here. With the speed. Question is, we're gonna try anyway. It's not super slow. We just need to unload it a little bit further back and then move it in case there's a Puma over there. Which there might or might not. We're gonna have to wait and see. Alright. Now, this I think is a good spot to put our artillery observer as recon. Is there any churches? I think this town doesn't have any, from what I can... Oh, there's this one. Never noticed it because it looks different. Ah. Maybe I should put recon in there more often. Or you know what we can do? Very often people leave this part undefended because you don't expect anyone to push in there. So we are gonna try and sneak one of those in there. I will provide radio. Like in the middle of here. And recon. That would be absolutely huge. Never really checked that out. Like, try to find out what's there. If there's a church there. Never tried that either. So let's see. Might work. Would be fantastic if it would. Now, since we're playing against a tank heavy division, this thing will actually still be useful. Believe it or not. Next up, we're gonna... Actually, we're gonna want to bring these in. And some of these. You can go in here. You can go in here. And just to make sure that we don't get rushed by flamers. Oh, come on. Now we go. We can send these ahead. And smoke if needed. We need to send something over there. I want to run, should probably do. Just in a defensive position. I don't really want to challenge this. I think one machine gun's probably not going to do the trick. We should probably... Oh, we need to put something over here to not lose that flag, don't we? There's an easy solution for that too. There we go. Problem solved. We have a lot of armor. I think the best place to push is this. So I've not really said that like specifically, but I've been thinking about that basically all the time since it started. We can do a quick grab here at the start, but that might give us something, but he can definitely push over there again. He has a better infantry for that too, but this is, you know, in the towns it's run should probably do decently well. So this is where I would want to push hard. I think we're going to do a slow approach through here. Like a frontal, like full-on assault here is just not really worth it. The Pumas can easily stop that. I don't have anything fast to do that, so there's just no point in trying it. What we can put there though is an MG34. Or an opener, not too bad. Can actually put it here. That might be smarter because then it can outrange some infantry. What we can also do is get one of these and put it. This is a place where I prefer like lighter AT guns, but we don't have that in this division, so just gonna have to make do. I want to have a Panzer IV there for some actual pen, and then we're gonna have a lot of Turans. This is what we do. We bring in Turans and we're gonna spam. More recon somewhere would be good. Up here, maybe. Ah, I know what we can do. Don't want to sacrifice, because I don't have a lot of radios, so I want to keep this guy as a radio, but we can send one in here. It's actually a really nice position that you can realistically get in, and often enough people actually struggle with that. And then we follow up here with 2 infantry units. It's a bit of a bad play, but we're gonna have to... We're trying to do things here. Trying new things. Ready. You are. He does have an air force, but it's not super scary. There's no AT planes in there, so I'm not super worried. He has planes again, and they can be dangerous. So, but I don't need to secure it off with one of these right away. I had a discussion with someone once, I think on Discord, about bringing a lot of planes with Lassar, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Good luck. Have fun to you too, good sir. Alright, let's see. What do we have? He could also have a recon plane, however, again, the air tab is really strained in that division. So, most likely there will not be any. Let's see what we have. Something coming in the center. Oh, I forgot that he has even some horses. Is that a Puma? It is. So there's one Puma over here. Probably one over here. Yep. And then there's probably one over here. This one's probably the last Puma. It is. We take them at single vets. So he has a lot of them, actually. I forgot we have the recon Panzer III. Would have been useful. It's okay. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Thank you. Unload. Unload as well. Oh, he got in. Look at that. Oh my shit. He's a bit faster than I expected. Alright, he still got in. Not going super bad. Actually, I think we can just push that. To run 1 preferably. We don't need the heat shells for here. For this. Alright, let's try to get in here. Let's bring a recon tank. That's going to help a lot. I also have to tell you, forgot about all the good units we have there. Is this a mortar? What is this? I'm gonna bomb it. Look at this guy though. That's amazing. Never seen this. Alright. Not really sure what is happening here, but I like it. Night GT. Oh! This is a more juicy target. This is also a juicy target. It's the one that we actually need to deal with as well. Can send that over here. We can bring another one of these over there. Oh, we still keep this thing over there. It's useful. Alright. That got out. Next thing we're gonna bomb this, if we can see it again. It doesn't actually seem to have any AT over here, so why not? We can actually push this. It's just to run one. I'm not really concerned about losing that one. And we should probably bring another one of these in. Like really coming in up there. Might want to hide in there a little bit. Don't mind killing a recon unit. Grabbing that flag over there. We can try to spot that MG over there. We're gonna get up close here. What's this? Another AT gun. I'm gonna kill them one by one. Oh, this is what I wanted to kill. No, hold on. Forgot. The AT is actually better because then this tank can come in and clear that machine gun out. But I need to clear out that AT piece first. Come on, spot it again, please. What's happening in the rest? It's okay so far. It was somewhere over here. I'm probably not going to kill it. Oh, there we go. This is what I really want to kill. This is the real prize over here. IG we can probably kill off somehow. There's another robot over there. So need to be mindful about that. And now there's something in. Some AA. That's alright. And then unload while you're there. Okay, now I should be able to push in. Should get some recon in there. Get some recon in there. We should get these in here. And now I think we can get the Panther down here to keep us that stick away. I didn't spot it in time. Oh, the heat shell is turned off. That sucks for him. Which means I'm now gonna push in with a Lavish. Actually not a good fight. It's not a good fight either. I'm gonna bring another one of these in. And another Turan. They can very well deal with those Pumas. Well, the fact that you can see that is mind-blowing to me. Next up, we might want to bring in some AA, actually. Alright, let's see if we can take that back. This is also a bit of a problem. Oh, the guerrilla is in position now. Oh, we can bomb that. Okay. There it is. We can try it and engage that. We don't need to. We have the Panther. I just realized that. Oh. Wait a moment. I did not allow that. We might want to still bring some AA now to secure it off. Never know. Oh, there's the A down there. Oh, that sucks. We can also bring artillery. Oh, wait. Hold on a minute. All right, let's bring in the good arty party. And let's bring recon up here. We need some. Actually, no, we have this one. I forgot. But just not unload it, and that's going to be good. That's going to be all right. Okay, what are you engaging at the moment? This guy. Can we? I'm a little bit afraid of getting double teamed, so we just have to micro that. No, they spotted it. I guess I became a victim of my own success. Pushing him to having to deploy over there meant that he now had to bring these guys in from that side right there. Okay, so he decided to run, so we're gonna do the same. We should reinforce this somehow at some point. We're just gonna leave that there. It can be of use later on. And we probably want to have like a Panzer IV to help secure this eventually. This is actually dangerous. You can have line of sights from up there. We're going to bring more of these in. And another one. Oh, we have these guys. Let's see if we can bring in one like up there, since he's not really playing around that. Something's over here. We have infantry, forgot about that. We don't want to lose our tanks. You have to be careful. Just gonna put you a fire at will, otherwise I'm not gonna use it anyway. I might as well. And got the first shot off. Dancing, that's unfortunate. Lost that, that's okay. Just gonna bomb it. The Air Force is definitely not an issue for me. We can engage that way. We actually can just shift that, I guess. And then just hop in there from the backside though. Ah, there's another AT piece. Oh, he's trying to go for the Panther. That's actually a nice move there. Now he's a Panther as well. No veterancy though. Oh, the Puma's still alive, forgot about that one. Okay, they traded. Completely forgot to mention that, but one of the big weaknesses of this division, of course, the fact that it has basically not, unless he has the Volksdeutsch, it doesn't really have anything that up close can deal with tanks. And now we have all the Seekers infantry I could want. Pretty good. Okay, don't know what he found there. It's going to take care of it for us. Alright, let's push. Push. We can bring another one of these in there. Now we need to deal with that somehow at some point. Oh. I might lose it. I might lose it. Nope. Did not. Okay, let's get one of these in here. Just if that stick pushes a little bit too close, we have an answer to that. Okay, whatever you spotted there, you will show me what it is, you will show me where it is, and we'll be able to take care of it. You actually need to do some infantry support there. I think I'm just going to get another one. It's playing very defensive. What just that lower show? Okay. This thing is a bit damaged. It's probably one shot, or it could be... Oh, flock filling. Don't mind if I do. You can go after anything you can see. I don't know, over here. No, over here. That's going to be good. Right, push, 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 push. Get that thing. We're going to just obliterate this. Give us the flag back. Want to play for flags. I don't care as much for anything else. Holdy can't really spot it. It might be unfortunate. Should give us the flag back. What are you shooting at? Oh, the Turan over there. Well, we did what we could. Give me like 1 or 2 shells and then it's okay. Okay, so we're gonna blast whatever is in here. Didn't realize we lost that flag. Again, if you're writing anything, I had some weird issues with the stream before, just because super silent. It's also possible I'm just not saying anything. But in case you are and I'm not responding, I'm sorry, I've been having some issues with the stream today. I don't really know what it is, but... Oh, this is now where we can use this. We don't want this to get killed off, so... Ah, machine gun, is it? That's a culprit. We can kill that off. Let's recon plane get in first. Deal with the AA. And this double spam of these guys will probably do the trick. Okay, we have to... Still have to deal with it the normal way, don't we? Good, got that done. Should bring us the flag back? It does. We can bring in a Panzer IV over there to clear that out. Alright, and bring another Panzer IV over there. We're also going to buff that up with a leader. We don't have that many more left. What Panzer D push forward over here? I guess they take another strike and I missed it. It's okay. And have another Panzer going after that. Having a little go there at that. Right, pinning that. Should give us the flag back to 15-9, which we need. Still midway through B phase, so we have some time left. Alright. Gonna load it back here. Since it obviously needs to be... That Stück there is not paying attention, so we might be able to just move in. I want to get hold on infantry though. Not a good fight. So let's get some more 44M in. It's not spawning it yet. It is. Now it's reacting. Come on, I worked hard for that. The recon is spotted, I guess. Well, now I might as well just commit. Okay, we traded. Should have brought in more of these guys before. Can you throw that? No, you just threw yours. A little bit too early, unfortunately. Alright, we can push that. It's alright. That flag back. Can you... Hello? What we can also do is bring one of these in and attack it from the side. Might actually be the better, smarter play. Or I haven't seen any AT over there, so I'll actually try to make a push over there. I'll be able to support that from over there. We can take this. I'm not spending enough points. Well, there is spotting. Oh no, just push forward. Damn. Did I actually call... Oh, I had another one. I just didn't use it yet. That's going to change drastically. Just going to obliterate everything that he has there. The machine gun is dead, so I'm going to actually be able to now finally put something over there. This is a very ballsy move. Oh, we killed off... there's an AT... I spotted an AT gun there earlier, so... It's not a good idea. But we can bring something of like this over there. We can definitely do the trick there. You can stop going after that. You can start going after this. You can bring me supplies. This. Panther just died. The Panther coming over there. Oh, we can deal with that from over here. Very realistically can. I'm just gonna pull that back and bring it back in if needed, because I just don't have the attention span to micro it, and it will just get RT'd. Like with the Nebelwerfer, so... Maybe it's better to just not... Oh! Still alive. Didn't I call in a Panzer IV here at some point to actually deal with that? No, I did. And the Panther is arriving, so let's fall back. Can bring another Panther. Should I be worried about that? Probably not. Oh, he's pushing something over here. I might want to react to that. We can kill that off relatively easily. Oh, now he got stuck. Well, you can kill the AA, so that's actually good for me. Then I can actually kill the Panther with this. So it's not too bad. And down it is. There's a tank over here. We have another 2 rounds. Oh, we don't have a lot of 2 rounds left. Actually, a bit of a problem. Alright, let's shift him over there. Alright, I think it's time to buy this actually. What can you see? The infantry. Right. Alright, let's wait for that. Let's save for that. Oh, he pushed in there. It's a problem with these kind of infantry. You need to micro it, which can suck. I'm actually going to use this for anti-infantry now, since I'm a bit... Alright. We can just start opening up on whatever you can see over here. Well, he can just start throwing... It's an open top vehicle, so there's only so much he can do. We still have Panzer III here, which can respond to this. Alright, we need to... I got the message, it's okay. And I still don't have the points for it, don't I? Okay, my Panzer Frubblord can push this. 15-9 again, interesting. Oh, with this, thank you. Very much, good sir. There we go. Thank you. There's a Panther over here. This is maybe not the right unit for this position. I'm gonna bring one of these in then. If it gets too close, that's gonna die. Alright, my Panther here should be able, in theory. AA dies, so we can now go after that. You can go, just go fire at will, please. I don't have the brain capacity to think about what I want to target with it. And we're just gonna... Oh, there's an SKF set now. Oh, that's not the one that I wanted. Whoops. Probably not gonna get through there. Yeah, the AT plane did not grab anything at all. But this thing can now maybe do the cleanup crew, since they're all falling back. There we go, got one. Double mortar there. He's doing the wolf pack. Signature move of our King Hobo Tango. Maybe I should pull that back now that infantry is coming. Don't want this to die unnecessarily. Rather have this run one to die, honestly. Ah, this dying. Don't mind. I don't need to push it necessarily. And the cheese making a move. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that at all. Okay, we need to get some infantry in going in here now. It is annoying. Most important thing is just he can't make any more ground. As long as we can secure that. What are you doing? Did he just try to smoke his own position? I'm just going to blast this a little bit. Just so that I'm not losing that flag. You can also start hammering whatever you can see over here. And bomb that. Maybe it's going to get through, maybe not. We just need to hold on. So as long as we can keep some flags, this is my main concern at the moment. Just need flags. Don't care about anything else. Yeah, he knows this. He knows the trick. Fortunately, he does not know where it is, so... can you please just... Where did I put that? What are you supposed to shoot at? Did I put you on fire at will, or what did I do? You know what? Just throw in open top stuff. No, you can do it. Oh, now you can hop in again and do your bombing stuff. That's that. Good, 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 good. Now he pinned it, but it's okay. I'm gonna... Okay. Change of plans. Just blast this. Gonna keep that flag for a bit longer. Panther down. Nimrod doing Nimrod stuff. Love it. Gonna bring these guys in. Just hold ground. Just push. Don't think he can... Oh, well, we still have this, so... No, thank you. All right. Kill the leader there. Gonna push that over here. Gonna push you over there. I think that should be all right. He still has a lot of horses, but I really don't care. Just need to hold on, and there comes the GG. Now, did I play this division the way you should play it? Probably not. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I think we actually brought... No, we didn't bring it back to 59 at the end. That doesn't matter. Did hold on well. We still outtraded him. It's an experienced player. Not bad. Not bad. I actually expected there to be a bit of a skill gap, but doesn't look like it then. So I'm even happier. But GG's to him. Again, I just... Lissar has its issues with light armor, in my opinion. And I think that just proves it again. Because, I mean, they're technically, like... In terms of health, they're not a light tank, but for all intents and purposes, they're a light tank. In my opinion. Oh, this thing sniped. I didn't even notice that. This thing sniped so many pumas. Damn. And this one too. Pumas also sniped some of my things. That's less nice, but it happens. Yeah, here didn't actually look super well. Quite the contrary, actually. But somehow I managed to hold on. And the rest there... The Grim guys, the Puma can do work against light AT, the light armor. The problem is just... not... Well, against light AT, yes. But... Did I say light AT? I mean light armor, by the way. But the Puma is not a good tool against light armor. Because, I mean, we can look at the stats. Where is it? Where's Lissar? There it is. The problem is this, it does 6 damage. And light armor usually has, except if it's only half tracks, it does 6 damage, and light tanks usually have 8. So even if you go against something like a Steward, which is half the price, mind you, the Steward has a chance of getting 2 shots off. Now, if you double vet it, yes, they can do it. Like if you double vet it, the Puma shoot more, and that can make the difference. But still, you killed a light tank that is costing 25 points. So for every Puma that you bring, your opponent can bring 2 Stewards. And it's either in a place where the Puma isn't, and it can be very annoying over there, or it is combined with the other Steward, and then your Puma just gonna get killed. Light AT guns are... You really meant light AT guns. Yeah, but even against them, it's not fantastic. Most light AT guns will still win against a Puma, in my opinion, and my experience. But in my opinion, the way to use them is really... It used to be for transport sniping, but now it's more expensive, which kind of sucks. I would still use it for that, to be honest, and then for getting, as you said, sneaky side shots with the Puma. Or, no, you said sneaky AP side shots. That as well, or side shots. I mean, it's still useful, but not a huge fan of them, to be honest. Yeah, I kind of have to in Lissar, because you really don't have a lot of other tools. He did something that I didn't do, which I should have in my build. Didn't use this thing. I did use this thing. Can you also take with this one? No, you cannot. But that is also pretty good, actually. But the problem is, like, yeah, the only other light AT you have with your leaders. This division just doesn't do well against light armor. It's not meant for it. Well, in those scenarios, it's hilariously cost effective, and with 6 HP, only the very light AT doesn't one-shot them. I think Pumas have 8, what I recall. But it's not. It's really bad. Those have 2.2 HE. Which one? What do you mean Grim Guy has 2.2 HE? Because the Shermans don't, and the Pumas don't either. Shermans have, I don't know by heart. Yeah, 1.52. Ah, you're talking about the armored car transport. This one is actually pretty nice in my opinion. But yeah, it's not great. But I mean, that one dies easily, as you pointed out, because this one I think really has 6 HP, so that kind of sucks. But in my opinion, both, like, that one's actually really good. And 15 point, yeah, this one does 2.2. This is actually nice. It's also nice for this, because accuracy is decent with veterancy, high rate of fire, 8 damage, 50 mil penetration. It's not perfect, but it does the job all right. So, yeah, Turan 2s have quite a bit of HE actually. I think more than regular tanks. Let's see if it is 2.2. It could be, but I definitely know. I don't know the exact number, but I know that the Turan is more. I could have also looked at Loroche. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Turan 2 is 2.2. Turan 2s are really good for infantry support actually. They can deal with the light armor super well. They can deal with this, like with infantry decently well, and they still have the heat shell, which can be quite strong in the right situations as well. So I don't know, fantastic tank actually. Can also be scared to go up against. But all right, I think I will call it a day here. We have had the nice little games that we casted, but also one quick play game, so a little bit of practice in. It's also super nice. Oh, that's why it's literally the same gun. Yeah, I think it is. Looks like it at least. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And yeah, see you all next time. Have a nice day and a nice weekend to everyone. See you. Bye, everyone.